So hello, my name is Laura Swinski, group editor for the Crop Life Media Group, and I'm here with Jeremy Pafford. I know Jeremy from Tech Hub Live earlier this year. Jeremy is going to join us on our PACE Executive Forum at the end of October in Kansas City. Jeremy is joining a supply chain panel, one of several that we have, and we also have, in addition to Jeremy, Aaron Hutchinson, CEO of CropTrack, and Sarah Waltner. She comes from Raven Applied Technologies. She serves as a senior director of global sales for Raven. So, Jeremy, supply chain. The ag space, I could say, maybe in the last few years has received a new appreciation and awareness around supply chain. Without giving too much away to folks, why do you think the ag space is super focused on supply chain these days?
Because the supply chain that we thought we had optimized to perfection pre-pandemic, we found within the pandemic and as we emerge out of it that there are some definite um, places where resiliency has not been built into it, and we're all struggling to figure out ways that we can do that kind of on the fly. And it seems like to me, every time that we almost get one thing fixed, something else pops up, kind of the old whack-a-mole kind of challenge.
Mhm.
We dodged a bullet, it looks like, regarding the rail situation where we had a rail strike that was about to happen here in the US. We've averted that one, but still, rail has been a huge issue in regards to being able to rely upon your shipments. There's been several delays in those. Rail is a huge provider of logistics for moving products across the United States, getting stuff from the ports to the stores or getting them to the warehouses and distribution places that gets them to the stores. So we still have an issue of availability of rail cars, reliability of getting those rail cars to their destination, the time that's required. This all affects your ability to manage your inventories.
Mhm.
Still a challenge, and we hadn't even talked about trucking, which continues to be an issue in regards to labor, availability of trucks. We are tens of thousands of truckers short in North America. That is not changing anytime soon. So the supply chain managers in ag in all kinds of industries are having all sorts of challenges that they're having to mitigate through. I've often said in the past couple of years, supply chain manager rivals now that of an air traffic controller in stress, and they are the true heroes in getting goods to our door and into our homes and into our businesses.
Right, right. Actually, I think you hit it on the head as far as rail. At the beginning of October here, which is, the time that we're talking now, rail still in flux. Obviously, it's hard for railroads to ramp up, scale up, add more. It's hard to accommodate, swings in supply and demand. Likewise, and this is kind of a mixed bag. I heard recently that 40-foot containers from Shanghai to LA, first time in 2 years, the price one way is dipped below 4,000.
Yep.
That's the good news. The bad news is demand is starting to weaken. The carriers are starting to blank some of the sailing. So really a lot of turmoil going on in supply chain. Maybe you can confirm this, but my sense is that 2023 is going to be a little bit more of the same. Some things may ease up a bit, but I think we're still in, like you said, kind of a bumpy ride. One thing gets fixed and another thing pops up. Is that the sense?
Yes, and the looming cloud that's kind of on the horizon is, what's going on with the global economy and, with global economic conditions deteriorating, consumer demand is right there in the midst of that. And if consumer demand, if growth is tepid or consumer demand falls, that has big time ripple effects across the retail chain. And from that, you know, we're watching what's going on in Europe, where the energy crisis there is having, um, you know, they first off started as it's very much hampering manufacturing. You've got 70% of Europe's fertilizer capacity right now has been shuttered because you need natural gas to make that, and natural gas is in extreme short supply, all emanating from the Russia-Ukraine crisis.
Mhm.
Now there is a question there about having to make decisions this winter about keeping industry open or keeping heat going in families, homes.
Right,
When you That's going to have ripple effects across the world. It already has. If manufacturing shuts down there, that's whether it be for fertilizer or for anything else, other kind of materials, packaging or basic chemicals that go into um, you know, you know crop use and such. That's going to ripple across to the U.S. It's going to ripple across to Asia, everywhere, and it's going to come to our door. And then obviously it has effects on food.
right.
So 2023 is a very you know there are some very ominous signs for it.
Mhm.
Um, so there's some challenges that retailers are just going to have to figure out a way to maneuver through. But you know what? They've had experience of dealing with these with other types of challenges in the past couple of years. They can draw upon the experience, hopefully, and navigate through. In the end, we're going to need those retailers to be able to provide the goods to the customers to
Right,
be able to do the important job that agriculture does.
right, right. Yeah, I think if there's a bright spot in the current disruption, it's that really the ag space, and this is a generalization, of course, but I think people are really a lot more aware of what's happening upstream, as you mentioned, whether it's disruptions to the fertilizer supply, shipping, rail, downstream, being connected to what's going on with the food manufacturers, even the retailers, the grocers. Regulatory compliance is another big thing. And I think that's what, as we look forward to PACE, unlike Tech Hub Live, of course, which is really just focused on the here and now, what technologies are out there that attendees can go back to the farm and put in place. Our conference this year, the PACE Executive Forum, which is the first year for the forum, is really about talking about these things exactly. I really taking a look at what's out there, but more important, honestly, is like, okay, so what's our plan then for the next year or two?
Yep.
So looking forward to
Well,
continuing the conversation.
absolutely. This is a disrupted environment. We're not going back to where we were pre-pandemic.
Mm,
We are not going to be in an optimized environment where costs are as low as they were. We're in a higher cost environment going forward. That is a challenge. But challenges are wonderful environments for innovative thinking and such. This is an opportunity to remake and reshape how we do supply chains and how we do business to maximize what the new reality is. Okay.
absolutely.
So this is an opportunity.
You said it. You said it. That's right from our tagline. I love it. Jeremy, thanks so much. It was a blast being able to talk to you again, give a little teaser of what folks can expect to see at the PACE Executive Forum. Jeremy Pafford is the head of North America Market Development for Independent Commodity Intelligence Services, ICIS. Jeremy, we'll see you at the end of October in Kansas City.
See you in Kansas City.